followers yesterday. Yeah. I think I'm sitting at like 31. Ugh. Don't mind me, I just woke up. Nice. I actually need to get a ruler specifically for my kitchen. Hmm. Oh. I get a few non-furries that come in on my stuff. And then I get like hyper fanboy furries. It's just like really excited, really. It's just like at 31 followers, this isn't warranted. I have regulars and I have fanboys, and okay, well, I have one fanboy in particular who fanboys over me so hard he practically worships the ground I walk on. And it's uncomfortable. Yes, you do. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, we're going to pretend that I don't know what you're talking about, and you're going to explain to me what the center line is. It's exactly because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, that makes sense. Shame on you. Oh, my mom would kill you for that. She loved things like that for when she was drawing and shit. How much? Okay, I'm poor. Okay. Don't have to rub it in. I haven't even got my paycheck from Papa John yet. Oh God, you're poorer than I am. Well, I am currently also sans income, but I do have a little bit of savings, so Discord, you need to be muted for now. You're giving me a migraine. I see the paper. Mine would not help in this particular situation. I mean, I've got a lot of surface, but it's spread out into like an L shape, and the desk itself is actually very thin.
My mic was muted that whole time.
Oh.
There needs to be a better way for me specifically to do this. So. There we go. I found the better way.
Hey.
Alright, so 30 minus 18 is 12. So I can take a foot of this and fold it. There's a reason why people use CAD.
I can see it. It kind of looks like you're having a little bit of difficulty with the paper.
It's only because the surface I'm working with is smaller than the paper. But you know what? Solve problems as they come. So, yeah. There we go. So, there's most of the paper. I need some way to, well, I might have a way. One sec.
You can do it, Shark.
Yeah, I just need a bit of time. Because I have another, mic stand that I could put the little thingy on to hook the camera onto. There we go. Best view in the house. Now you can see just how ridiculous it is. Big. Yeah. I'm not used to working with paper this big.
It's so tiny, the workspace. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the paper is as wide as my desk is, and I have to use half of my desk. That's why I want an L shape over there, so I can have another 30-ish inches on this side that's completely free, so I can just like turn to it. Although my ideal is a 36-inch depth. So the paper is now 17 and a half. $8.75. So 8 3/4. The one downside to a steel ruler is how reflective it is.
Also, if you bend it at all, you'll get it straight again.
Well, like this is not an issue. It's like this that it is an issue. Because my aluminum ruler has a bend in it, but it's like this. So when you hold it down, just put it flat and push. That was louder than it would have been normally because it was my calculator falling on an open box. All right, there's the center line. So, do you want to do anything with the measurements or just go with what I had in mind originally?
I would go with what you have in mind originally, because again, I have no.
You have no what? You cut out.
I would just go with your original idea because I have no idea what I'm just watching. I could maybe I'm sorry. The people living in my apartment clearly have no respect for when I'm on stream. I could like design a guitar in Blender, but off of a model that already exists. So
All right. Let's see. The headstock length is going to be off than what I'm used to. Because I'm going for a 9-string. The problem there being the headstocks are enormous.
huh.
Also, I don't know why there's like a flickering going on. I assume it's because it's low exposure and I have LED lights going.
That could possibly be why.
I'm gonna measure the 7 string and just add a couple inches. Okay, so with the tuning keys being 30 millimeter apart, a 7 string is about 7 inches long on the headstock. So for a 9 string, it'd probably need to be around 8.5, 9 inches. And yes, I know I'm flipping between metric and imperial. Some things are easier to measure in both. Like, I prefer measuring the scale of a guitar in inches, but
Normally use metric.
we'll use metric for everything smaller. So like the scale of this guitar is going to be 26.5 inches to 28 inches. And it'll be fan frets, but the frets I have to do in metric. Because it's like the difference between this fret and this fret is, say, 1 1/50th of an inch. What? It's easier to say like 2.9-ish centimeters. It's easier.
Yeah.
Because then I can just measure to 29 millimeters and mark it. And to start, it's all technical, and then you get into the art later. And I'll worry about width pretty much now. The problem is I need to know a slope. And I don't remember how to get this slope. Because the nut width is 2.5 inches. But the length between 26.5 and 28 inches is 1.5 inches. I need to know how to offset that. Because I also have to end at different points on the, like down here, on the body.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I saw the thing in SketchUp that I could measure. Because the centers have to be identical. I'll also do a window capture for this so you guys can see it too. There we go. What the hell? Oh, it's behind. Alright. So here's the fretboard.
Okay.
And the 12th here has to be vertical. But with measuring... I don't know how to do angles. Oh, that's right. There is no angle tool in the free version. You have to get the paid version, and then it lets you use the protractor.
Well.
Cool. It would also be nice if there was a proper way to have views. Ah. Center views, top. So I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to see if there's an online tool. Hey, look, online protractor tool.
Woo. That's useful.
It is. So I can just crop that.
Bypass the bullshit.
And save it as capital N space U space T. Save it as nut. That's what it is.
Jack. Jack, what are you getting to under my desk?
Burb going ham.
No, this is my dog.
Oh.
He's crawling around under my desk, sniffing for shit. I don't know what he's looking for. Do you have a treat under there? Don't you start your whining. You were outside already. You don't need to go out again.
Oh boy. You can't capture browsers. Like there's a browser plugin, but I don't want to use it. I don't like it.
Oh.
This would also be a lot easier if I actually had a protractor still. I feel like the camera is a bit soft, so I'm going to adjust the focus again. Nope, guess not. Hopefully that's better.
Getting phone calls.
Yee.
It's annoying. You think there'd be a lot more enthusiasts interested in stuff like this.
I think it's a later crowd because we're starting in the middle of the afternoon, which is when people are getting off
Oh,
work and going home.
oh, I'm not talking about like the viewer count or anything like that. I'm actually, looking up stuff, and it, it's actually, I don't see a lot of groups surrounding around like the making of a guitar.
There,
I don't know why.
well, on Reddit there's a sub called Luthiers and DIY Guitar. They're pretty into it, but um, they're not too much into giving out math and all that stuff. So there is a trick that I overlooked for figuring out this. So if I make a line to there, and that's a 90 degree, then these two have to add up to 90. I forgot about that part. And that's the distance between the two sides. That is 58.74. And then B is 19.13-ish. And if you thought to yourself, "Hey, this is just the Pythagorean theorem," you'd be right.
Math. I'm going to say math.
I'm all right at math. So the online projector is a bit obtuse. So I have a math friend helping out. That's right. I punned on you.
Why? Just why?
Because it is kind of awkward to use, which makes it obtuse. But with this measurement, I know that with this being the center of the nut, I know that the low point. The low point will be halfway down. Like the full width of the nut is 61.4 millimeters. And the low point will be half of 19.129. Because B. Okay, well, I'm talking about triangles, so I'm just gonna mock up a right triangle. That's roughly the same. So I know it's not exact, but whatever. The distance between this is the top of the nut. This is the bottom of the nut in this thing. So B, C, A. B is 19.129. A is 58.74. And this is 61.4. So if we go halfway down 19.129, we get the center point of C. So the other half is low point.
Nice.
And their response is also, now that I have A and C, we can get some help from our ancient friend trigonometry. Which I haven't taken that class yet. Yes, math. And yes, I made a right triangle. It's actually more of a, I think, isosceles triangle. Because I didn't use a ruler. The thing my wrist is sitting on. We can make it a right triangle just by putting a little square in the corner. But let's find half of 19.129. $9.5645. I'm gonna round that to 9.5 and a half. That's how many millimeters we need. Be roundabout there.
I hate math, and yet I want to get my associate's degree in there.
You're cutting out a lot.
I said I hate math, and yet I want to get my associate's degree in nursing. That makes perfect sense, right?
More or less. Now this spot up here is the top half. So we have the spot in the middle, that's the center point of the nut. Then we have this point up here, that's a little higher. That's the high point of the nut. And this is the low point of the nut. So 61.4 divided by 2 is 30.52. No, 30.57. I'm gonna check that. 61.4 divided by 2 said 30.57. That's 30.7. Yep. Wait. No, I did the math right. So 30.7. And this is just to get the nut. This isn't even the rest of the fretboard yet. It's not nearly this difficult when you're using a single radius. Or not radius, but a single scale. Because like if I did 25 and a half, I would find the center point of the nut and draw it to about 1 7/8 inches, and then just scale it down. Like just kind of widen it as I go down until I hit the body. So like we would already be drawing the fretboard at this point. Not only drawing the fretboard, but we would be drawing the frets. And there are many, and they're precise. So precise that I use a calculator online to tell me where they go. Because like this, say this guitar's scale length is 26.5 inches. What's half of that? Well, it's 13.25. That's the 12th fret. Alright, where's the 6th fret? Well, it's kind of a logarithm. So the lower you go on the fretboard, they get bigger. Higher you go on the fretboard, they get smaller. So you have to count for that. And you have to do a lot of math. So the online tool just does it easier. Alright, I'm gonna fix this audio cable issue because it's around everything. So just give me a sec. Currently can't hear anything. And let there be sound. Now a sound. Let there be drums. Now it's drums. Let there be guitar. Let there be rock.
Sorry for dying in your ear.
That's alright. It wasn't too loud. Just a lot of coughing.
Yeah.
I did a goof. I didn't go to 0.7 of a mil. I went to the mil exactly. Which it's not too bad. It would make the neck a little more narrow, but I want to have it be. I want the strings to be spaced correctly. Oh boy, the friend posted a big ass picture of all these numbers. They went through cosines, tangents, and sines. You know, I like math, but when it's the kind of math I don't understand, I don't like math. And I only don't understand because I've not taken it. Heavy decibels are playing on my guitar. I feel vibrations coming up from the floor. We're just listening to the rock that's giving too much noise. Why you think you wanna hear some more? We're just talking about the future, forget about the past. It'll always be with us, it's never gonna die. Never gonna die. Rock and roll, light noise pollution. So there's 1 and 2. Alright. Now, the easiest scale length I know to remember, or I remember in millimeters, is 28 inches. Because 711.2 millimeters. 26.5 is like 272 and something, I think. Also, hello person that just joined the stream. Thanks for coming in. We're designing a guitar with multiple scale lengths. I need to know how wide the last fret needs to be. So let's go back to SketchUp. Alright, so the last fret is going to be 81.33 or 325 millimeters. That's the end of the fretboard. Never mind. I need to know. I want to know what love is. This is a pain in the ass. Well, first I need the center line. That's not the center line. Center line will be going on the green axis. And it's X, Y, and Z. So on the Y axis. There we go. And that length is 692.06. Also, this line is not even. So I need to erase that and do it again. So what I'm going to do instead is draw the extremes out in their own direction, and then I'm going to line up that where it's 2.5 inches and meets both of them. You know what? This is also a lesson that the biggest tool may not always be the right tool. Is this line even straight? Not even straight, but is it exactly perpendicular? The center line isn't perfectly straight. I mean, it is straight, but it's not perpendicular to the paper. That's probably throwing off measurements. So I can still do it. That just means I can't use the edge of the paper as a square.
And I realized I muted myself to tell you, oh, weirdly, it was the angle of the camera. It really was the line.
Yeah.
I'm firing on all cylinders today.
Oh, same. But yeah, I can still do it. Just this line has to be the square. I can't use the edge of the paper. And that's why this line isn't straight. All right, I actually got it this time.
Yay!
So now you can see using this line as the square, I just drew out and then had 2.5 in the 2.5 inch mark in the center and measured until this is at 1 and this is at 4. Because that would make the whole thing 2.5 inches wide. and that's about as big as my hand, or as my fingers.
Nice.
So I can play a 9-string guitar comfortably. Now, do you know why you might want to use a multi-scale guitar?
Why?
Take a guess. I'm legitimately curious if you know. Or if you have an idea that's correct.
Why are people bothering me? I'm gonna guess so you can reach different notes or pitch of notes or something like that.
Not so much, because multi-scale guitars usually have much wider frets, so you'd be able to reach fewer in a box, I think. Because it would come out as like really narrow and at the bottom and wide at the top, and then slowly like go the other way. A side effect of it is comfort. So if you hold a G chord, you could be like this, but on a multi-scale guitar, you might be like this. So a much more relaxed wrist.
Doesn't it also produce more even tones along the scale?
One sec.